with all the craziness that's going on, I am grateful that I'm able to do these book reviews and to take a little chunk of time out of my week to be able to share my love of reading with you guys. I know that a lot of these book reviews lately are just utter nonsense. Sometimes I don't explain the book that well, or they don't make sense at all. But I'm learning, I feel as I get back into the groove of things, that I will be able to make these into something that makes more sense. Anyways, this week's book is one that is by an author that I've done book reviews on his books before, and I feel like his books take you up and down on a roller coaster where you think you have it figured out and things are going to work out to nothing, to proving you don't. But it is Pitfall by Clair and Poulson, and this is one that had me on the edge of my seat. It's about a child. You learn about the accident that his biological parents go through, and then you learn a little bit more about his life after he's been adopted. And the older brother in this adoptive family doesn't like him at all. He loathes him, for lack of a better word. He loathes him, and he basically makes things difficult. And so the adoptive child runs away, and there's some things that happen while he's running away that he gets blamed for. And the older brother, because he has everybody believing him, he's manipulative and things, he gets him to believe that it was the adoptive child. And so through new friends, and there's some private investigators in there, the truth comes out. And this is one that I just was like, are you serious? A few times to the father character. I was like, can't you tell what he's doing, what your son's doing? And then with the ending, I was really glad that it ended at a good part. I feel like there's a lot of authors out there who they don't quite know how to end the book. So when they end the book, it's just like, seriously, that's the best you can come up with? Or they're like, well, here's the next book, I'm going to have a series. And then they don't release the book for a while. But this is one, it ended on a good spot, but I would have liked to know about two of the other, it ends 6 years in the future. I would like to know what happened to two of the other characters in the book, because one of the investigators has something happen to her, and I would like to know what happens to her and how she's doing, and then the other investigator that has fallen in love with her. And I'd like to know what happens between those two in the 6 years. So, because you get to find out what happened to the adopted child, and the girl that he meets while he is in Utah. And there's another character that I wish, I'm like, did she learn her lesson? I'd like to know if she learned her lesson. Because she's sort of like a mean girl in a way. But I'm like, did she learn her lesson? Because she's trying to one-up another person and thinking, well, haha, I'm going to be able to one-up you. But she ends up, there's some stuff that happens to her. But the ending, I was a little surprised on the ending, too. When the villain of the story meets up with the adoptive brother, as they were going, I could tell where the direction was going. But I was expecting, I think, a little bit more action in the ending. But that was just me. The book with the ups and downs is there's different characters who believe the villain, and then after something happens that proves that the villain is the villain, and not the other character, then you feel like, okay, we're going up there, things are gonna happen, and then the villain escapes, or he goes off somewhere or does something else again, and it just goes up and down. And I honestly, when one of the private investigators had the incident happen, I was thinking, okay, they killed off a character, and very rarely in books that I've read have characters died. And for me, this one was like, okay, you killed off one of my favorite characters, and then like the next chapter, it turns out she wasn't gone. But anyways, this one had me on the edge of my seat. I highly recommend Clair and Poulson's books if you were looking for mystery, adventure, thrills that keep you on the edge of your seat, keep you in feeling like you're a part of the story, that you're one of the detectives or you're one of the characters. I highly recommend his books. I hope that this made sense and that you guys are able to figure out where my train of thought was going. But anyways, I'm going to keep going. It's starting to get dark outside, so I'm going to head back in because it's starting to get cold. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you in next week's video. Bye, guys.